Right then, petrolheads, today we're talking fighter jets. Not the comfy first-class kind, but the ones bristling with missiles and radar that make grown men squeak. In this corner we've got the French-built Dassault Rafale, a sleek bit of kit with a hefty price tag, and in the opposite corner the Chengdu J-10C, China's answer to a need for speed and firepower on a budget. Now things got a bit spicy recently. Word on the tarmac is that some Pakistani J-10Cs gave Indian Rafales a bit of a headache near that ever-tense line of control. Seems like the J-10S were flexing their electronic warfare muscles, causing enough interference to make the Rafale pilots sweat a bit. Now India hasn't officially confirmed this, but where there's smoke there's usually a firefight brewing somewhere. This little incident just highlights what everyone's been chattering about. These two jets are locked in a serious game of top trumps for sales and bragging rights. Countries looking to beef up their air defenses are caught in a dilemma: fork out top dollar for the fancy French fighter, or go for the cheaper, cheerful, and increasingly capable Chinese contender. Let's talk money, shall we? Because in the world of military hardware, that's what makes the turbines spin. The Rafale, with all its fancy French engineering, will set you back a cool $288 million a pop. That's right, you could buy a small island and still have change left over for a decent bottle of Bordeaux. The J-10C, on the other hand, is the bargain bin special at a mere $40 to $50 million. Suddenly, that extra cup holder in the cockpit seems a lot less appealing, doesn't it? This price difference is a real kick in the afterburners for Dassault, the Rafale's manufacturer. They're used to dealing with countries with deep pockets, but the J-10C is muscling in on their turf. Take Uzbekistan, for instance. They're looking to ditch their old Soviet-era jets and fancy something a bit more modern. Naturally, both the Rafale and J-10C salesmen are knocking on their door with glossy brochures and promises of air superiority. Right, enough about money, let's talk about what these birds can actually do. In a straight-up drag race, the J-10C edges out the Rafale with a top speed of Mach 2.2 compared to the Rafale's Mach 1.8. That's like saying one's a Ferrari and the other's, well, a slightly slower Ferrari, but speed isn't everything, is it? When it comes to range, the Rafale can stay airborne for a bladder-busting 3,700 kilometers, while the J-10C taps out at a still respectable 2,940 kilometers. But what about the tech under the hood? Both jets sport fancy active electronically scanned array, or AESA radars, which is basically like having X-ray vision for enemy aircraft. However, the Rafale's Thales RBE-2 radar is the talk of the town, with whispers of it being able to spot a sparrow fart at 50 paces. Now here's the thing about fighter jets. They're not just expensive toys for countries to show off at air shows, they're serious political tools. India buying Rafales? That strengthens their ties with France. Pakistan opting for the J-10C? Well, that just throws fuel on the fire of their bromance with China. So who wins this aerial duel? It's more complicated than just comparing spec sheets and price tags. Retired Air Marshal Anil Chopra reckons the Rafale is still the technological top dog, but even he admits the J-10C is a tempting proposition for cash-strapped air forces. One thing's for sure though, the skies are about to get a lot more crowded and a lot more interesting.